Hi, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to the channel if this is the first time you visited. My name is Mike, and today I'm going to be running through the first in the series of Lightroom Classic for total beginners. So, teaching good habits with organisation, how to use the software, how to import your images, how to organise them, how to easily find images, how to develop them, how to prepare them for external editing, how to deliver them to clients, use the web galleries, etc, etc. So it's going to be a series of tutorials. The very first one in this series is literally just going to be how to take your images from your memory card and place them into Lightroom in a nicely organised way. So what we're going to do, first of all, is we are going to, I'll plug that for a second, I'm going to open Lightroom Classic. Yours will obviously look a little bit different to mine because I already have images within my library. What we're going to do first of all, we're going to take our memory card and we're going to plug it in to our card reader or card slot on our computer if we have one. This same will also stand for if you're moving images from an external drive and just trying to get organized. These same principles will stand. However, so this has popped up with an auto import. Now I'm going to cancel this because sometimes yours might not. So I'm going to show, you just go to File, Import Photos and Videos, or Shift Command and I, and the import dialog will pop up. Now I'm going to work from left to right. We're going to start here with our source. Now this is where our original images come from. This is the memory card or the external drive. I know for a fact that Untitled is my memory card that I've just put in, and it's showing me a preview of all of my images in here in the center bit that are on my memory card. So now I've already imported some of these. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to run down to here and I'm going to import some of the images that I know I have not imported yet. If the image has a little tick in the top left corner, that means it is going to be imported as part of your import dialog here. I don't want that. Like I said, I've got all of the images at the top I have already imported. I'm going to uncheck all. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to choose a couple of images to import. I'm going to click the tick in the top corner. Let's pick a few random images. There we go. That'll do. Those four. I've chosen which images I want to import. So obviously if you have a memory card full of images, you can just go to check all and import all of those at the same time. Across the top in the center we have copy as DNG. Now these are your options for what Lightroom will do to the file as it's importing them. Copy as DNG is a generic raw file container. So whether you shoot on Canon, Fuji, Nikon, Sony, anything, it will convert your raw file from your camera's proprietary RAW file into just a general RAW file that can be read by any software. If you have a brand new camera, for example, and Lightroom hasn't been updated to be able to cope with your files, a little workaround for a short time while you're waiting, or whether you don't want to use the software that's been provided by the camera company. Copy as DNG will give you a file converted for Lightroom to be able to work with. Copy is going to take a copy from your memory card and put it wherever you designate on your computer or on your external hard drives, which is the one we're going to use today. Move, I wouldn't use, unless you're moving from one hard drive to another, but there are easy ways to do things. So it basically, if I was to use move in this case, it would take all of the image files from my memory card and it would pull them off the card and put it onto wherever I told Lightroom to actually put it. Don't do that. It opens you up to all kinds of corruption with memory cards. That's why you don't ever format a memory card within your computer rather than in the camera itself. It writes its own little databases in your camera, make sure it stays as compatible as possible, and that's ideal. That's what we want. We don't want to be dragging files off it and then formatting in the computer. Add just adds a reference to the file, so it would leave them actually on the memory card, but just put a reference on your computer to what the images were. So you'd be working directly off the memory card. We do not want that either, because you want to be able to eject your memory card, reformat it, and use it for future shoots. What we're going to do is we're just going to use copy this time, and then we're going to come across to the right. Now this is file handling. So This is basically what Lightroom is going to do with your image upon import. Embedded and sidecar, that's perfect. That's what we're just going to leave it as now, which means it's got an embedded profile, like a preview of your image, so you can check the details, zoom in, check focus and everything. And the sidecar is all of the adjustments that Lightroom is going to make to your image. Sits alongside your original file. Lightroom is non-destructive. It's a non-destructive editing software. You don't have to panic, you don't have to worry about Lightroom writing over your original RAW files, you don't have to worry about if you change the colour you don't like and you want to revisit it, then your original file is always there, sat just under the edits that are in the sidecar files. You can just experiment away and then just reset it if you want. You don't have to worry about your base files. Build smart previews. We're going to leave all these things for now because they're not really beginner things. Don't import suspected duplicates. Usually a good one to have. So if I check that all of my images that I said I'd already imported in at the top, they would be hidden. They'd be greyed out, which basically Lightroom would go, no, they're already on your computer. I'm not going to import them for you. Can be useful. I'm going to leave it off for now, or on. Makes no difference. Make a second copy. This is this checkbox here. Now I'm not going to use this, and I don't tend to use this. And the reason I don't tend to use it, whereas it's very good to have a backup, especially an immediate backup, because you won't forget to do it. However, it copies everything. So I'm going to go through all of my images, and in future tutorials when we start doing the culling, selecting, filtering and deleting and all of that good stuff, I don't want it to have backed up the images I'm going to delete anyway, because I would have a backup of images I've just gotten rid of. No point whatsoever. Your gut instinct is usually right. If you're going to get rid of an image, it's for a reason. Delete it. Gone. Dun, dun, dun. I can hear everybody sighing in the background going, oh, don't delete images. So yeah, basically I'm not going to use that. I will back up once I've culled the gallery and once I know which images I'm keeping and which ones I'm getting rid of. Add to collection. Once again, not going to do that now. That's for the next video, part 2. File renaming. No. Don't use that on your base import, because then your images on your card and your Lightroom library will be different. You can do that at the end. I tend to do it when I'm delivering images to a client. I will rename it client's name, then with a progressing number after it. Don't do it now because it could just get confusing. I would leave that. Obviously, like I said, there's a million different ways to do this. If it works best for you renaming your files now, and you can keep track of what you've done with your file naming and find your images because you've used keywords and stuff, go for it. Great. This way is not the only way. It's not the right way. It's just the way that I do it. Moving down, apply during import. Develop settings, none. Now, as you get more advanced, you will build your own developed settings, and your own settings you will apply to every image that crosses through your Lightroom. You'll get used to your camera, your lens will have little quirks. So sometimes Sony cameras, if they mess around with skin tones a little bit too much, or Canon if the skin tone's too warm, etc, etc. Could be anything. Or if just your particular lens that you've got it adds a bit too much blue to your greens or whatever, you can correct that and then automatically apply it to images as you import them. Future tutorial, once again. Metadata. Now, I include this because it's all of the details that your camera will write into your file when you press the shutter. So your name, your copyright data, your website, your date it was taken, your camera's serial number, IPTC date, all of that stuff that identifies the file as yours will be written into the file upon import. Definitely something we'll cover in the next tutorials. And keywords. Now we're going to do this now, so some bits of this are more advanced, but just to begin with, this simple little keyword section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name these. Now the model is Ali, your good friend, so I'm just going to keyword, first of all, Ali. So I know when I type in Ali into a future search, these images will be tagged as part of that search. A comma to separate your keywords. And now the next keyword I'm going to use is white rabbit, because these are part of a dress rehearsal, kind of a costume test for a big fantasy photo shoot and tutorial that I have upcoming end of this month, beginning of March. So I'm going to tag these as white rabbit. So there we go, white rabbit's automatically showing up. I'm just going to hit my comma. And there's just the two keywords I'm going to use now. If I used studio and photo shoots and all that, it would lump everything else into it as well, which is fine. However, for now, Ali, White Rabbit, that's all I need. Moving down, destination. Now this is an important bit, this. What I'm going to do is I want to move these images from my memory card onto my external hard drive, my 2 terabyte one there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to hit the plus just up here, and I'm going to create a new folder. So this will pop up. So I'm on my external hard drive, new 2 terabyte. I'm going to create a new folder called Ali Dress Rehearsal, and the name is already taken. No, so it is. Ali Classic Tutorial. Create. So I've now created a folder on my external hard drive called Ali Classic Tutorial, so Lightroom Classic Tutorial. And in here, this is where I'm going to start the main organization of my images. So I'm going to create a new folder, and I call it Capture. So this is my original captures. So you could call it Raw, or Originals, or Origin files, whatever it is you'd like to call it, to let yourself know and to let your organization know that these are your original files, your original captures, your original raw files. So I call mine captures because I use that across the board, so it's one very easy for me to remember. And then all I'm going to do is hit choose. So it's chosen that folder, Ali Dress Rehearsal, Capture, and if I now hit import, what will happen is Lightroom will copy those files from my memory card and place them into that specified folder. There we go, starting to pop up. Awesome. That is the very first step in our organization of our images in Lightroom Classic. Part 2 of this tutorial will follow tomorrow or straight after this one. So what we're going to do then is we're going to touch upon the actual full organization in Lightroom. The second video is probably going to be the most important one of this series. So please do tune in for that one. Thank you for watching today. Please do feel free to like and subscribe. It's a very new channel, obviously, so anything is very, very much appreciated. Any suggestions for future tutorials, please feel free to leave that in the comments as well. And yeah, have a brilliant day, everyone. Cheers.